Good evening. We present the news summary. The Minister for Foreign Affairs and Tourism, Sylvestre Radegonde, with his delegation, visited the Georgette trail during the weekend. The minister was accompanied on the trail by officers from the Parks and Gardens Authority, the General Manager of Lemuria, members of the National Assembly for the districts of Pralin, the liaison officer for Pralin, and police officers. It is the responsibility of Lemuria Hotel to maintain the Georgette trail. The general manager of Lemuria says that the hotel accepts approximately 100 outsiders per day to get access to Georgette through their hotel premises. And Minister Radegonde has said that people going on trails should be given more information.
So the idea was for us to assess the condition of this trail, because we've heard stories that, the difficulty that there were, the confusion that a visitor or somebody using the trail could have. I must say that it's better than I had expected. I thought it was, going to be tougher, more difficult, that, there were more likelihood of people getting lost on the trail. I think on both counts, I'm happy. I'm reassured that it is not as tough as one would have expected. But having said that, I think it is important for people going on a trail, any trail, to be properly advised on what they should be wearing, make sure that they are fit, that they have sufficient refreshments, water, and so on. And for this particular one, we saw that the signage is there. The route, the track is clearly indicated, but there's room for improvement. I think there are certain areas where we think that this signage could be reinforced, especially in cases where we want visitors to avoid going. It is a beautiful trail up there. I mean, when you get on the mountaintop, the view is spectacular on both sides of the island. And maybe the risk there is that people wander off the trail, forget maybe, or do not realize necessarily the danger, slip. It's easy to slip, like we think happened in the last instance a few days ago, and then fall down, be injured, and worse still, get killed.
There are renewed efforts to revive the Respect Our Neighborhood campaign launched last year. In a meeting held recently, the Minister for Internal Affairs and 3 other colleagues discussed ways to reinforce the campaign, which targets antisocial behavior in the communities. Some of the issues raised during the meeting was the need for cases to be reported to the police and taken before the court in a timely manner. The campaign was inactive lately due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Financial Intelligence Unit, together with the Registrar Division and 2 experts from the European Union, are conducting a 2-day workshop for representatives of the non-profit organizations in Seychelles on terrorism financing risk assessment. The aim is to enhance the understanding of terrorist financing risk and provide participants with a forum to discuss and share experiences and devise a strategy for strengthening the regulatory and supervisory framework that relates to the non-profit organizations sector.
It is important to note that in setting out standards that countries should implement to combat money laundering and terrorist financing, FATF Recommendation 8, which calls for a risk-based approach to the supervision of the NPO sector. Seychelles is currently rated non-compliant with this recommendation. It is for this reason that the Financial Intelligence Unit and the Office of the Registrar of Association, with the assistance of experts from the European Union, are working to risk assess the associated vulnerabilities of NPOs. This exercise will include obtaining information on the activities, size, and other relevant features of the NPOs in Seychelles and their likelihood to be used by criminals. It will also assess the accuracy of measures in place and identify strategies that needs to be developed to address the identified risk.
The Seychelles Parks and Gardens Authority recently organized a fire prevention exercise on the Glacinois Trail on Pralin. The exercise was in collaboration with the Seychelles Fire and Rescue Services Agency and other partners. The technical advisor for Forest Fire, Johan Mendes, said that the Trail Glacinois was a priority for this exercise. James Michel Foundation, in collaboration with Deakin University in Australia, has started the second phase of the Blue Carbon Project, a workshop with their partners held at Constance Fidia at Port-Glo, introduced blue carbon ecosystems and demonstrated monitoring techniques with a special focus on mangroves forest. The project is in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment, Energy and Climate Change and with the financial support of a Blue Grant facilitated through CCAT.
We've had a literature review which looked at any sort of blue carbon research that is being done in the Seychelles, and shockingly we found very few research papers that were available, and so we had to move it to the general region of the Western Indian Ocean, and that was published in May 2021 and it's available online. The second component of the project involved a stakeholder interview process, and we got over 100 applications from NGOs, stakeholders, as well as government officials that actually took part in that process. The main aim was to gain the public's understanding of what blue carbon really is. In Seychelles, blue carbon has relevance to seagrass meadows and mangrove habitats. And why they're so important is that science is showing now that they absorb 40 to 50 times more carbon than tropical rainforests. And that's quite remarkable if you really think about it. And so it's giving a lot more significance to help protect these environments for the future. We are currently developing a roadmap document which will be submitted to the government of Seychelles at the end of the project.
And with this, we have come to the end of this news summary. Thank you for your attention.